Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Sick Podcast Anvil Show. Tonight we cover the 2024 NFL Draft of the Indianapolis Colts. So get ready. We're gonna get into this. It's gonna be a good one. Sammy, get me rolling, baby.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to the Sick Podcast. Anvil Show.
Intercepted! Marlon Jackson! Marlon's got it! We're going to the Super Bowl! We're going to the Super Bowl! Marlon Jackson with the interception! He picked off Tom Brady!
The sickest Indianapolis Colts podcast. It's gonna be sick.
All right. It's time to get it in. Let's not waste no time. We got a sleepy head on our hands. So go ahead and bring in the crew. And while these guys are coming in, if you don't mind, make sure you like, subscribe, and follow us on all our socials, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, the X, you name it, we're on it. And we do all right. Tonight,
the sleepy one is not me tonight.
The sleepy one is not me either. But yeah, give me about a half hour and I'll be right into it. Yawning and everything else could be past my bedtime. But anyways,
it's also not 2:30 in the morning wherever you are.
That's very true.
I know it's very tiring laying out on a damn beach all day.
Anyways, gentlemen, we're gonna start off. Give me a grade.
Hey! You gonna introduce our guest?
Nah.
Rude ass.
Not until he gives me that belt. He's
Jesus.
excommunicado. Now, anyways, our guest tonight is Mr. Luis Martinez, all the way out from Iowa. What town in Iowa you live in, if you want to say it?
Pleasant Hill.
Pleasant Hill, Iowa. A Colts fan in
About
Iowa.
2 minutes from the tornado a couple days ago.
Ooh. You guys got tornado shelters where you live?
Basements.
All right, that works. All right, so first thing we're going to do before we get into the player breakdown, I need a grade from you guys for the organization's draft picks. We've seen what ESPN says. We've seen what PFF says, but I want to know what you guys say. Luis, what would you grade this draft out?
I'm going to give us a B.
A B? Okay.
I felt like, yep.
All right.
That's a lot to
Say, all right, sorry. I interrupted you. What'd you say?
Nope, you're fine. Go ahead.
All right, Acosta, grade.
A.
All right, you want to expand or not?
Not yet.
All right, Clyde,
We'll get into it.
what do you think?
I give us a solid B plus. I think it's a lot of weight on the first two.
And I'm right there. I'm going to go A minus because of the same thing. We got into the A's because of the first two. So anyways, let's jump into the individual players. At pick 15, round 1, we picked, somebody say that first name.
Like to?
Say it again.
Like to is my guess.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Latu.
Latu. Let's just go Latu. I could pronounce that part. All right. Give me your breakdown on this pick, and then we'll just keep moving forward. We got a lot of picks to go through tonight. Short time to do it in, so we're going to put some speed in this. Luis, go.
I mean, I think he was our third overall prospect on our board, and I think he was the number 1 defensive player on our board. Just hearing Ballard talk over the week. I mean, double-digit sacks last 2 years. Not a bad player. He won the Lombardi Award and the Hendricks Award. I think Hutchinson did that as well his senior year before he got drafted.
Okay.
So I think if we use him right, I think he could be maybe Sean Merriman for our group. Just harass the quarterback nonstop all game.
Good player comp. All right, Clyde, you're up. Latu.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how we integrate this player, primarily because he is a stand-up guy, though he played everywhere. But you mostly see him standing up, which traditionally that's not what we're going to do in our 4-3 set. Even with a Leo, I mean, we had Yannick, and Yannick never stood up, and the list goes on and on. So it's going to be interesting to see. But I am very excited about the player because I really feel like, in all honesty, he was the best pass rusher that Chris Ballard has ever had the chance to draft. And so you need to, I guess, level the playing field in our division. Jags got, Josh Allen. The Texans last year go out and get Will Anderson. And the Titans, they don't really have that version of this, but it's cool to now have that version of that for us. So I'm excited for it. Not upset at the pick. I felt like early on he was a thought for us, and I just thought that he would kind of trail off, but seemingly he never trailed off on our board. So it is what it is.
All right. Country, what you got?
I mean, the big question about Latu is this. Obviously, is his 2 previous neck injuries and medically told to retire early in his collegiate career. I mean, here's the thing. You can't, and this is going to go into A.D. Mitchell too when we get to him, but you just can't sit here and judge players for their past incidences, injuries, whatever. If they're physically able to, which he'll have to take a physical and everything, and he's confident he can pass it, which I think he is too. His stats show it. As long as the man stays healthy, he's going to be a very great tool for us. Who knows? Going back to Clyde's point, I think we probably will maybe utilize him more as a Leo. I think he's a little bit more agile than Yannick was when he was here. I think he's just going to be a force in this defensive line that we're about to have. I mean, it's just everything's positive but his injuries. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to what he has to do for us.
All right, awesome. And I'm going to give you guys thumbs up on all those takes. Absolutely beautiful. One thing that I'm going to bring up is some of the player comps that I've been reading is that he's got the potential to be better than, not as good, but better than Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, and Fred Warner. Now, will he develop into that? We'll see. We'll see what coaching does at this level. We'll see what schemes does at this level. And we'll see what the speed of the game at this level does for him. But for Ballard to sit at 15 and not move up to get a premier pass rusher out of the draft, that's badass. I mean, because Clyde, you brought up Will Anderson. Look what the Texans gave up to get him. They gave a boatload. We didn't give up nothing. We stayed right where we was at. Didn't move, didn't flinch, and we got the best defensive player in the draft. Going back to injuries, the way I see it, yeah, he had injuries. Yeah, they were significant, but last 2 years, he didn't miss a game. So why are we even talking about injuries? That's my take on it. And for that pick alone, I give that one an A+, absolutely.
I mean, I think it's also important to talk about, like, where he was when you talk about win rate, when you talk about, sacks, when you talk about all the things that matter for a defensive end. I mean, over the last 2 years, the guy is top 2 in everything, with 1 being primarily his thing when it comes to all that. And I think win rate is really, really important. And then he's a 3 technique type rusher where he can, transfer speed to power and all the things like that you need him to do. Plays with great leverage, has good bend. Everything is there, man. So honestly, this could actually be Chris Ballard's best pick ever, and all if it works out. That's a wild statement, but it could be.
Nice. Anybody got anything else they want to throw in? All right, we're moving to round 2. Mr. A.D. Mitchell. How do you say that first name for me, Acosta? Adnoni? Did I say that right? Or Clyde?
Adonai.
Adonai.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or
All right.
AD.
Clyde, since you know how to say his first name, you take the lead on this one.
All right, man. It was so many options at wide receiver, and I feel like we absolutely got the best one for where we were picking based on how the draft went. I don't care about attitude. I don't care about what made him slide, but to get a 6'2", 205, 4'3" guy to put on the other side of Michael Pittman, and then to also, in my opinion, alleviate some of the stress that we were feeling from Alec Pierce, and now maybe putting Alec as a rotational guy. Amazing pick, and it's gonna be trouble. It's really gonna be trouble because this guy can take the top off, and you still got the Josh Downs. You still got, like I said, MPJ going across the middle, however you want to set it up. But we finally got the route runner and the take off the top guy, because honestly, Alec Pierce is just a take the top off guy. He doesn't really have the route running tree, but this guy has it all, and he reminds me comparable. He's T. Higgins to me. Super athletic, super versatile, can make those tough catches. And everybody was crying about corner. Look what he did to the Alabama corners that people were saying we should have got.
Yep.
Terry Arnold, Sakua
both of
McKinstry, ate them alive. So, I mean, I know how important that position group was, cornerback, but this was the right pick for me. So I was stoked when I heard this name. That's my thoughts on A.D. Mitchell.
That's pretty damn impressive to get Clyde excited about something.
Chill.
Louise, what's your take on Mitchell?
I honestly think he's the best wide receiver in our group right now. I think he's going to challenge Pittman at training camp, and I think Pittman's going to have his work cut out for him. I think he can. I don't know. I think the sky's the limit. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know why he dropped, and I don't care. He was there, and it just seems like a scary weapon to have a Richards to look for.
Nice.
4.3 speed's going to come in handy. Nice senior year, 11 touchdowns, 900 yards or so. So we'll see how it goes. But I think he's wide receiver one, skill wise. He's wide receiver one.
Competition makes us all better. Absolutely. Acosta, go.
I mean, I'm going to reiterate what I was, or what Chris Ballard said in his press conference. The kid clearly has medical issues that have nothing to do with football. He's a type 1 diabetic, okay, which has nothing to do with his athletic ability in any shape or form. I think if anybody was in his shoes for a blood sugar issue, I know Pat, ain't you diabetic? Nope. I thought you were. I don't know why. Never mind. So
not all fat people are.
But I mean, so all because he gets a little bit irritable when his blood sugar drops. I mean, I think anybody on earth who has that type of problem would say they probably get a little bit irritable when their blood sugar drops. They're not feeling the best. They don't feel well. I mean, so his attitude has nothing to do with the player that he is. So I agree with Chris Ballard that it's bullshit that they're putting all these labels on this kid. He's an explosive player. He's going to be a great thing for us. I mean, when you have that 4.3 speed like he has, along with Josh Downs going through the middle there in that slot position, I mean, it's going to spread the field for us. AR is going to be not running as much, I think. Our offensive line, I think, is really going to step up for AR this year to protect him. AR is going to play smarter. But with that wide receiver core, I think he's really going to have the weapons that we really – he's going to bring these weapons that we do have to the next level, like you said, Pat, with the competition. So he's going to bring great gameplay to the Colts, and I can't wait to see him play.
Well, I checked out some articles, and the one I'm looking at right now has player characteristics of Terry McLaurin, Tyquan Thornton, and DK Metcalf. What do you guys think about that? Do you see this in him?
Dogs. They're all dogs.
I don't know about DK. Just because DK is a physical specimen. Like I said, I think T. Higgins is the guy that I compare him to just because of his athleticism, his versatility. You can see how, he can go up for a pass, be too early, be too late, still come down with the pass. Concentration is there. I mean, if you look at his yards, not a lot, but you look at how Chris Ballard broke him down, like, look at what the games that he's played in, both at Georgia and Texas and on the stage, and he scored 5 touchdowns in those big stage games. Like, I'm looking more so at that and just the ability of him naturally and having more opportunities will definitely be something that we'll see if that, ups his play. But to me, I think DK Metcalf that's just the wrong. He's a machine, bro. Like DK Metcalf
He
is
is a
225 or
specimen.
something, like no body fat. Yeah, I don't know about that one. I don't know where they got that one from, but
I don't think nobody in the league is DK Metcalf. There's
Yeah,
only
I'm just
one
reading
DK.
what I'm just telling y'all what I'm reading. That's not me. I also heard somebody compare him to CD Lamb in a
okay, I like that one too.
player comp. For
Yeah,
myself, I think I don't have tons of film time on this kid. Matter of fact, I ain't got tons of any time on any of these players yet. Life has just been pretty busy. But when I watch video of when they drafted him and Reggie Wayne is pumped up and he's screaming, "We just got fucking better," I'm going to believe Coach Wayne. I'm going to take that passion that man has, and I'll run it all the way to the end zone, baby. So I am absolutely thrilled with this pick. I know a lot of Colts fans were screaming, "We need receivers. We need receivers. We need corner help. We need this. We need this." But to get the talent at these first two picks that we've got is absolutely unbelievable. I'll give this pick an A+ as well. Just reading
yep.
some of the things that I have read, and the biggest drawback that I've seen as far as weaknesses is his yak. They claiming that he doesn't get many yards after the catch, but that's okay if you're catching at 30, 40 yards down damn field. I'm all right with that. Yeah, it's better if you can take it to the house with a big catch like that. But you know what? You move those chains in that big of increments, I'm definitely okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta look at their offense too. I mean, they had Xavier Worthy, fastest dude in this draft, fastest dude ever clocked,
Ever.
I think, in the NFL draft, 4.21. I mean, so and you see what team jumped on him, that being Kansas City. They have missed that element since they lost Tyreek. So I say that to say that's the guy in that offense that was the yak guy. He was the guy that was getting, the 6 yard screen and then I'm out of here type thing, right? Like, so it's not saying that AD can't do that, but you got to look at usage. I sometimes hate how people evaluate because they'll say what somebody doesn't do as if that person was the only person in a very elite offense, right? Like
Right.
that's not a really good comparable for me. So I mean, it's silly, like you said. The guy has scored tons of touchdowns and he has a decent amount of yards, but it's how he was getting his touchdowns and yards versus what he can't do, if that makes sense.
Absolutely, it
That's my
does.
thoughts on that.
It absolutely does. All right, Clyde, you gonna hang out with us some more, or you need to get back to bed?
No, I'm gonna go back to bed because y'all about to talk about the boring picks, and I mean
Oh,
they're
now that we
great
get to the
picks,
trench
but they
guys,
just
our guys,
yeah,
you don't want to even talk about it. Son of a
I
bitch.
mean, one got a mullet, and I don't even know about the other one. No, I'm just kidding. Like they are very important. We definitely needed depth because I tell you what, between French and fries, I was about done eating at McDonald's. I need
Yeah,
to get those dudes the hell out of here, right? So it'd be nice to bring in some new blood to compete. And honestly, I think, especially the guy that we drafted first, Gon Claves, uh, him playing at Pitt, where our new defensive, line coach came from, I think that had a lot to do with the pick. Meaning, like, hey, tell us the insides and outs on this guy. What can he do? And like, he's very versatile from the freaking center all the way to the tackle on both sides. He can play anywhere. I don't think we've had a guy like that, honestly, on this roster, maybe ever, that can literally like go anywhere on the line. We need you, right?
and
So
and
that'll be
and
interesting to see.
and be trusted at that position. From what I'm
Right,
reading,
right, and that's and that.
this guy is definitely a bull, and it's going to be hard to get around him. Um, so just jumping on your points, Clyde, that if he's a starter, great. If he's a rotational piece, even better. Because, like you said, he
Yeah,
can play left, right, and center, and he's productive at it.
no, yeah, that's
It's
great.
not you're not just throwing a body in there because Braden Smith went down because his tonsils hurt. Who knows? But you throw him in there at right tackle, you're going to trust and you're going to feel confidence that this young man can hold the line. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm interested to see, honestly, because we cannot have a drop off in play when an injury happens on the line. And I think, like Chris Ballard said, the first thing you got to do is protect him. Maybe that's a scar he has from Andrew Luck, even though he didn't get Andrew Luck in the worst years of the line. But he's seen what that led to, and then he's seen what happened last year, even though that was a fluke injury. But the moral of the story is they have to protect him, and I think this was an aim to do that. So I'll let you guys talk about that. Get all excited about the mullets and all that other shit. But I'm gonna go to bed.
All right, brother. Stay safe out there. Be good.
All right, good seeing you, Louis. Yep.
Yep.
Later, bro.
Later, bro.
All right. Well, Louis, since you was called out last, you're up.
I mean, I think he would have gone higher, but he had that season-ending toe injury. I don't know much about him besides I think he'll be a right tackle. I don't think he'll be fast enough to be a left tackle. But he's a pretty big kid too. I mean, I've seen his frame. He's a big road graver.
Yeah, good.
JT's will be running behind that kid for a while. I think maybe even this season. I don't know if Fries and Will can beat him out. What's your thoughts?
It's going to be hard, extremely hard for Fries and French to beat him out.
Yeah, I just think he's an athlete. I know his bench was kind of low. I mean, he's a big kid and only got 15 reps, 16 reps.
Yep.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see if he gets that muscle up during camp. Keep some of those big defensive linemen off AR for a while.
Here we go. Acosta, what do you think about Gonclaves?
I mean, a very great depth piece. I mean, even going to Louise's point, I think he could really maybe even beat out French or Fries. I mean, who really knows what this kid can do? But it's yet to be seen. But either way, it's going to be a great depth piece. He's very versatile, big body. You know, he can take up a lot of space. He's got quick feet. So, I mean, that's all you ask for in a lineman. He knows good, quick feet, good protection. I mean, we'll just see what happens. I mean, even with this next pick we're about to talk about, he's, again, another great pick for us on that offensive line. So I guess we'll go ahead and segue into that.
All right. Well, I am definitely excited about this kid, and for a lot of the reasons that Clyde was talking about, his versatility. You know, be a starter, great, but be a rotational piece, even better, because you're going to trust that rotational piece. You're not thinking, oh, shit, here comes Fries again. Oh, shit. You know what I mean? You're not going to say that no more. Not with quality rotational pieces. Or if he's a starter, he's a starter. Even better. I won't complain about it. I'm not going to give this pick a grade myself because I haven't watched any film on this guy. I've read a few scouting reports. I've liked what he said. And Luis, you hit spot on as far as the left side tackle and his speed. He just seems like he might not have that first step down yet. I don't know, on that side. The right side, they never said anything about his speed on the right side. So we'll see. You know, and good coaching can get that out of players. Good coaching can get those steps right. Good coaching can get that speed up. And then now you know he's good to go with either side. So I like it. All right. Acosta, we moving to Bortolino, if I said it halfway right. Our fourth
it's Tanner Bortolini.
That was close.
Bortolino. Okay, never mind. But
don't you start on
so I would if we didn't have such a long show tonight.
And let me interrupt real quick. You guys, I'm seeing all the comments on here, but we've got 9 picks to get through in a very short time. If there's any time left, we'll have Sammy bring up the comments and we'll try to answer some questions. But I don't see it being too much time left. So, but don't think your comments are going unseen. We're seeing them, but there's a lot of crap to get through tonight. All right, go ahead, Costa.
So with this kid, I actually think this is probably even a better draft pick than the previous one on the offensive line position. I've given him uh, a solid A plus. I mean, again, he's very versatile at center and guard. I mean, there was big talks about him maybe even replacing Brian Kelly when he retires, because we know he's not going to be here. Probably not too much longer. Maybe one more contract extension, he'll be out of here probably, if I had to guess. But I mean, he's just he's going to be battling it out with Gone Claves and everything. So, but just a very versatile player. He's a little quicker at that guard position, I think, than the previous pick. So very high athleticism and switches positions. I mean, where we got him in the draft was a steal. But I mean, I really like this kid. I like this kid a lot. He's a great depth piece for us, if not maybe starting material eventually in the future.
All right, decent. Yeah, and like I said, I don't have a lot of film on this guy. I've already mentioned about the weaknesses that I've read, so we're just going to move on to our fifth pick, wide receiver Anthony Gould. Costa, keep it going.
I mean, again, another great depth piece. He's going to come in. I think he'd be a great, say Josh Downs gets hurt or has to step away for a second for a break. He's explosive like Josh Downs. I think he's going to be a great backup receiver for us, along with Ashton Doolin back there too. But the biggest thing is I think he's going to be probably a good returner for us. They're saying that he's, one of the best returners in college. So I think he's going to be a great asset to our special teams. So we added depth to our special teams now. So we're going in all three phases of the ball, which I like to see. He grabbed 44 catches for 718 yards last season, averaging 16.3 yards a catch. So, I mean, just a very versatile player, very agile, again. And I just, when he has to make that impact for us, I think he's going to be there to do it if he has to do that. But I think our biggest thing with Gold is going to be special teams.
I think you hit that right on the head. He's got a 4.39 40. Much rather have him doing kickoff returns, punt returns than I would Josh Downs.
I think that's why we got him to limit those hits on downs.
And you have a rotational piece, like you said, Acosta, 4 downs.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm okay with that. I'm absolutely okay with that. All right, Luis, give me your take.
I mean, he did play a lot of ball at Oregon State, so it's not like he's unproven. He did 4 years there, so. But I think he's there to take the punishment on all those special team plays, cover downs here and there, sub in. I think he's probably right behind Downs on the depth chart. I think he's ahead of Pierce, maybe ahead of Doolin if he ever gets on the field. But yeah, I just think he's more of a depth. Take some of those nasty hits. I think Downs got hurt on one of those hits last year with his knees, so you don't want to see Downs do that anymore.
No, absolutely not. And I think you guys both covered him extremely well. And the biggest takeaway I'm getting is special teamer, where he can cut his teeth, get some more reps, get some more coaching. Some of the weaknesses that I've seen is plays with some hip tightness that slows ability to sink and stop. That's all coachable. Has a tendency to drift coming out of intermediate breaks, coachable. Lacks fluidity running more detailed routes, coachable. So all his weaknesses can be fixed in coaching. So if he's running special teams for a year or two and getting those weaknesses out and they're getting him prime, absolutely. I'm all for this one. All right, now we're jumping into back to defense. Linebacker, Jalen Charles. Mr. Martinez, you got the floor.
I mean, my buddy's a big Missouri fan, and he was raving to me about this kid. Said, "Hey, he's going to be one of those players that just shows up and surprises everybody." Played 3 years, 48 games on his belt, a couple forced fumbles here and there. So I think he comes in and just gives us depth on that linebacker in case Sayer's got to go down or EJ Speed's out. I think the next couple picks are all depth. I don't see a huge name coming up. That I think everything's just let's fill some holes, bring some competition, some fresh blood to this defense, see what we can do. I don't know how you guys see him.
Well, we're about to find out, aren't we? Costa, how do you see him?
But here's how I see him. If you're all starting to notice by this time in the draft with the starting at the third, fourth, fifth round picks with what Ballard did, and the reason why I think we got such a high draft rate by so many analysts is because of this point right here that I'm about to make. If you notice the pattern, again, this is probably the most versatile draft Ballard's ever done. Not only can he play linebacker, but he's also played safety at Missouri. So he's a good defender no matter where you put him on the field. He's a good backup for EJ Speed or Zaire Franklin if something were to happen or they need a break. And they're comparing him a lot to Ronnie Harrison Jr., but I think he's actually a little bit better. It's definitely going to give depth to either position if needed. But it's just, again, you're hearing all these versatile players coming in here with multiple positions under their belt and succeeding with those positions under their belt, no matter where they're putting them. So I'm saying, this is why Ballard's getting such a high praise from these analysts with these picks. So I like this kid. I like where it's going to be, and I agree with what Luis said. It's going to bring some fresh blood, fresh competition, which is what we need, it's what we want. Get these veteran guys hungry because these kids are coming in hot. They're going to want a starting position. So I think this is a good pick for us for sure.
Absolutely. And y'all know I'm not going to blow smoke up your tailpipe. He's another one I have not had any time to watch film on. But one of the strengths that I've read that really stands out to me is that they're saying that he can be a heavy thumper with a head of steam. So when I read something like that, I instantly think of Ray Lewis because that's what they used to say about him, that he's going to thump the shit out of you.
We can't do that anymore.
Well.
We can't touch him. Two-hand touch. That's about it.
To the quarterback, but a running back coming through, you can pop the shit out of them as long as it's not helmet to helmet. But that excites me. You get somebody with that kind of mindset, big player that hits big, that changes the game. How many games did you watch where people ran away from Ray Lewis?
I couldn't tell you a single one.
None? Zero? Are you saying zero?
Running away from him?
Yes. I've seen
almost every game.
Yeah, I've seen plenty of games where they would run away from Ray Lewis. Now, Ray always find a way to get himself in, but they would never run right at him because they knew they was getting thumped. That kind of player changes the game. Now, will he turn into this? I don't know. We'll find out. But it's exciting to see. It's going to be exciting to watch this young man grow into his own. Absolutely. All right, Acosta. Still on defense. Cornerback, Jalen Simpson.
He's actually a safety. But
they got him listed as cornerback.
This is his defensive back, what I got. But it says, never mind. It doesn't matter. Solid defensive back no matter what. He's a product of Auburn, so he's a solid player. That SEC teams, they look for the best of the best down that way because they live and breathe football. It's football god and family down there, so you know how that goes. But I think what impressed Ballard with this pick mostly was I didn't see very much film on him either, Pat. He's impressive more with technique than he is with athletic ability. He's a good cover defender, so I think he'll get the job done and good depth piece for us. He's got an 87.4 coverage grade. But it's going to be a great depth piece for us. And that's all he's going to be, I think. But you can't really doubt his techniques. Great cover defender. So I think that was another good pick at that point in time in the draft.
Awesome. Luis, what do you think?
I don't know. I think he can give Ronnie Thomas a run for his money at that safety spot.
Ooh.
I think he's faster. Thomas gets some weird little nagging injuries here and there. This kid shows up. I mean, he was, I think, second team SEC last season, so it's not like he is a bum off the streets. I mean, the SEC is defense plays there, so
Yeah, absolutely.
I think he can get Thomas if Thomas struggles, and we'll see how they. I think they're going to be bad. I think that's one camp battle to watch this offseason for them.
Yeah, and if you guys remember last year, with the third round pick cornerback, I can't remember his name, but he got released at the end of training camp. And a seventh round cornerback, Jalen Jones, I believe he was seventh round. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Adam J, if you're still out there, I know you know. But Jalen Jones beat out a higher pick for that. So can this kid come in, beat Thomas out? We'll find out. I don't think he's necessarily going to be competing in the safety room, not with what the draft reports that I've read. They all say that he struggles with getting his hips turned, but once he does get turned, he can catch up and close the gap. But it's a problem at this level that people are not going to want him to do. So he either gets some of his weaknesses fixed, then throw him in safety, or keep him at corner where he doesn't have to rotate his body as much. But I'm excited. I'm not going to lie. I'm excited with all these draft picks, see where they're going to go. All right, moving on. Still a defensive tackle, Jonah Lalua, if I said that correctly.
Did I skip one?
Huh?
Yeah. Micah Abraham.
Yeah. Round 6, pick 201, cornerback Micah Abraham.
Oh,
Come
I
on,
did.
Pat.
I'm sorry, I did skip him.
You just said 30. You did say 30 minutes you were going to be ready to take a nap,
Yeah.
so we're right about there, aren't we?
We are. We're over 30 minutes.
I mean, I don't think we're doing too bad.
All right.
But I can go ahead and lead this one, Pat, if you want.
All right. Well, again, I don't have much draft time on this guy, on any of them, so I'm not going to pretend like I do. But from what I've seen in this kid, let me find that. There it is. 3-year starter. Quick to accelerate and drives at the break points, times up challenges with impressive and natural ball skills, overlaps coverage areas where he seems takeaways, will run downhill and crash into ball carriers. That's the kind of player I like. Just reading his strengths right there. That's everything I want in a defensive back. So we'll see how he can develop. We'll see how this coaching staff can develop him and get the best out of him.
I mean, I honestly think he went a little low in the draft considering just his stats. I mean, I know we're not a stats type show, but I mean, his stats are, pretty remarkable in my eyes for a young defensive back coming out of Marshall. I mean, 5 seasons, he's grabbed 150 tackles, 12 interceptions, 42 passes defended. I mean, that's pretty good numbers if you ask me. Yeah. So, I mean, I think he went a little low in the draft. He's going to be a great depth piece, I believe. Again, we're talking depth now, but Kenny Moore, Juju Brents, I think he's going to be an asset to those positions to where we'll need him. So that's my opinion on the kid. I think he'll be a good backup for us for sure.
All right, what do you think, Mr. Martinez?
Well, we obviously can't get worse than we did last year at corner. So he played a lot of football there in Mizzou, wherever he's on, Marshall. So like Acosta said, 3-year starter. He said he's not afraid to hit people. Last year, our cornerbacks didn't hit any people, so we'll see what happens. He's probably a year 2 starter. We probably won't see much of him this year, but hopefully Brent can stay healthy and keep him on the sideline. That's the big thing. Brent staying healthy.
All right. And Luis, while you're in the flow, go ahead and take Jonah Lalua. Defensive tackle, Oklahoma.
I just see this as a backup's backup type of player. I don't see much from him, especially with Big Grove. And I just this one was kind of scratching to me. We signed our 2 starting linemen. Why bring his 3rd one in or 5th player? I think he's a special teams player at best. I just don't see much to him. I might be mistaken. Maybe I eat my words, but this pick I didn't get. I didn't get a defensive tackle at the end. I don't know if he was just best available. Let's just finish out the draft or what.
That's what I was reading, Luis. That they were that he was just the best available, basically, in short terms there. But yeah, I mean, he's going to be. I agree. A backup's backup. He's going to be 3rd string if he even makes the roster. Good practice squad guy for the defensive line, if anything. But I think he'll definitely be there for us if he gets called up with the right coaching. We got the right coaches on board and everything. So definitely best for what we had at that point in the draft. And that's my thoughts.
Yeah. I'm not going to say he's a camp body at this point. For the sole fact is I don't have any tape on him, So I definitely like seeing how people play during games, full speed, full contact. Over just reading scouting reports, strengths, weaknesses, and whatnot. But the one thing I will say is if you're a defensive lineman and you're trying to make this squad, it's going to be tough for the starters that we've got right now to beat these guys out. You have to be one of a kind.
Yep.
And I don't believe he is going to be one of a kind. From his strengths, I see a lot of potential. But from his weaknesses, I see a lot of coaching, So is it, like Luis said, is it going to be something where he sits on the practice squad a couple years and gets that coaching, and then maybe he can come in and compete? We'll find out. But he's a big kid. He's a big kid. That's
yes. I mean, if I think we have our strength right now is our line. So I mean,
Yeah,
good luck
absolutely.
making that line.
Absolutely. I mean,
then you got Latu too. I mean,
yeah. I mean, he's
Not
6'5".
and then the pickup of Raekwon Davis, in free agency. I mean,
Yep.
we've seen him at Josh Downs' camp, and boy, is he a damn monster of a man.
He's a mountain. He
It's
is
gonna be
damn
good.
sure a mountain.
I think D-Buck's about to go crazy this year. He's finally going to stop seeing so much 2-on-1 the whole game. I mean,
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, and that makes me happy because not just for Buck, but for the entire defense all around. A few shows back we were talking about what the AFC South has added, and where they added the most, and most of it was offensive firepower.
Yep.
In Tennessee, Houston, and Jacksonville. So what's the best way to combat that? Shut it down. Get to that quarterback. Shut those receivers down at the line. Disrupt that timing. And when I think we answered the call to the rest of our division rivals by adding what we did to defense, bringing back the guys that we did on defense. And now, like both of you guys just said, who's going to double team Buck when you got Latu there? Who's going to double team Buck, when you got Grove on the other side?
Then you get a fresh Raekwon off the bench. I mean,
then you get a fresh
or a fresh Grove off the bench. I don't know who's going to win that one. That's going to be.
Yeah. So to me, that is a beautiful thing, and that is a beautiful answer to what our rivals have done this offseason. We signed 2 free agents. That is it. I've never seen a team not sign more free agents.
I mean, I really believe that Chris Ballard's message to the AFC South with the draft picks and the free agent picks and with the talented defense we do have, we're here to smack you in the fucking mouth.
Boom, baby. You heard it first. All right, that covers our 9 draft picks and 45 minutes. We didn't do bad, guys. We didn't do bad. So, hey, Sammy, if you can scroll through the comments real quick, pick out a couple answers. And while you're doing that, Acosta, you got an event coming up in about a month. You want to talk about it?
Yeah, we'll do a little promoting for it. So everybody out there, if you haven't yet,
You had to pick up
Go-
that damn mic, didn't you?
I did. Got to shine, baby.
Yeah.
But if anyone doesn't know, I'm the president of a nonprofit called Alpha One Resources. We're going to be specializing in veteran and first responder mental health, VA assistance, drug and alcohol treatments. You know, we're going to try to get these resources to these guys. You know, there's never enough resources for these vets and these first responders, and also our dispatchers as well. So we want to bring awareness right now, try to raise some money. So with that being said, we have a cornhole tournament in Beech Grove coming up June 2nd at noon. Hope to see everybody there because guess what? We got a celebrity coming in from our very own Indianapolis Colts. Mr. Drew Ogletree will be there signing autographs, taking pictures, kissing babies, shaking hands. I want to say publicly right now, thank you to Drew for doing this for Alpha One. It's a privilege to work with you. Can't wait to see you if you get to hear this, if you ever do. But also a big thank you to Pat for helping organize this whole thing. Pat's been the sole provider of this thing to get it all together for us with the contacts and all that good stuff. So big thank you to you too, Pat, on behalf of Alpha One. But yeah, Alpha One, you know, could use all the help we can get to help our vets and first responders. If anybody out there has not yet, go to our Alpha One Facebook page, give it a like. We'll post updates and everything. Considering the cornhole tournament and future events too, later in the month, I think it's June 26th, we have a 5K/10K run or walk, run, ruck event going on too in Columbus, Indiana. So hope to see everybody out there for that.
Can I join
What?
that with my truck?
No.
Damn it. Then I ain't coming.
Now if you can get like a little, like one of those little bitty crotch rockets or something, that'd be entertaining to see.
All right, that I can get, but I ain't walking no damn 10 miles.
But yeah, so we
Unless
have a couple
there's
big events coming
refrigerator
up.
at the end of it.
There's water stations.
Pat, doesn't matter what's at the end of it. You're not going to hit those 10 miles. That's a long, long,
Oh,
long.
you'd be surprised, sir. Now, if I can add something here real quick,
Of course.
you know, I get a lot of questions. Why do people or veterans need services like what you're providing? And I can answer that question extremely easy. A ton of veterans, when they get out of their military service, they no longer trust the government or any entity that works for the government, like the VA. So a lot of times, especially with mental health, those issues go to the wayside of the veteran because they will not work with VA programs. They will not work with government programs. Now, what Acosta and Jesse are setting up is a program that those kind of veterans can trust because they're not ran by the government. They're not ran by the VA. They're ran by everyday people. And Jesse's a combat veteran, so he knows this as well. And this is one reason why entities like this exist. And when you see a soldier and you're like, man, what's wrong with him? He's probably self-medicating because he doesn't trust the VA or the government to help him any further. So organizations like Alpha One is extremely, extremely important. Organizations like Kicking the Stigma, since we're all Colts fans, extremely, extremely important. You know, because for somebody to reach out, be vulnerable, and ask for help, they have to feel like they're in a safe place. And these kind of organizations do it. You know, like Acosta said, there's going to be, if you've got memorabilia you want Drew to sign, come, get it signed. You want to take photos with him, take photos with him. You want to jump on the cornhole tournament and whoop everybody's ass, do that too. We're here supporting this organization so they can support our veterans, our police, our first responders.
Oh yeah, and one more thing I'd like to add to another important thing. Two actually important things. So another big concern, another thing we're going to be doing too is education. Education. It all starts with knowing what's going on. So we're going to be also doing educational programs as well. Eventually, once we get up and moving, right now we're still in our campaign year to get some of these programs started, but we have a lot of big ideas. We're also going to be reaching out eventually to a lot of the Native American communities on the reservations who definitely do not have the assistance that a lot of even normal vets get because of how isolated they are on the reservations and they feel like they have nothing to live for. Suicide rates on the reservation are more than quadruple that of the national average without even being a veteran. Native American veterans are more than double the suicide rate. That's the ages between 8 and 26 years old, 18 and 26 years old. So it's a terrible, terrible thing. We want to try to reach out to these nations to try to get them to have them have the opportunities, the same resources as everybody else, because they are some of the most vulnerable people out there as well.
And I guarantee you, they don't trust the government.
Oh, absolutely not. And one
So
last
they
thing
won't reach out to the government for help. So people like what Acosta is doing, that's why it's so important, y'all. Don't expect the government to take care of everybody because they won't. And if they try, there's going to be tons and tons and tons of people that just don't trust them.
And one more important detail, and we'll get to our two questions that we got put up here, and we'll get out of here tonight. But last, but certainly not least, we're also going to be helping the veteran and first responder families of these people because they go through it just as much as the veteran or first responder dealing with whatever they're dealing with, whether it's their drug or alcohol addiction, their mental health, PTSD, trauma affected issues. I mean, they go through just as much as they do, if not even worse. So we're going to offer help for them as well. Try to get them into some programs, outreach programs for them to try to get them some help if they're struggling, or say a family lost a loved one to a war at the Middle East here lately, or just in general, they're still struggling from past wars. We want to help them as best we can, help their wives, help their children, help their husbands. So we were trying to reach everybody we can, but the most important thing is, even though we're putting a lot of emphasis on this right now, we're trying to raise as much money as we can. If we save a single life, this whole mission will be worth it.
Absolutely. Sammy, what's my first question? How many draft picks do y'all think we see play this year? To start, I'm going to say 2. Now, can more join in? Like the first tackle we talked about. Damn, I done lost his name.
Matt.
Yeah, what's his last name?
Lewinsky.
Gonclaves. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, Gonclaves.
I can see him playing, so that'll be 3. Robbie Gould is more than likely going to be playing on special teams, so that's 4. Will the other see playing time? I don't know. We'll see. So at this point, 4, Teresa.
Next.
Teresa with another question, and this is a good question too. Can we protect AR and make a hole? Louise, what do you think?
I say with the speed we got, the defenses can't just bunch up on that Jonathan Taylor holes anymore, so we should be able to see a lot more single zone runs. And luckily, I mean, they're going to have to respect both receivers now, not just Pittman and Downs. So, I mean, they're going to have to keep an eye out to make sure that top doesn't get blown out every other play.
Expect double the amount of RPO plays this year. Watch out for them sons of bitches.
Mm-hmm. But both players can hit their head on the goalpost too. That's what's nice. If AR keeps it, he's gone. JT keeps it, he's gone.
Yeah. So to answer your question, Teresa, yes, I do believe we protect AR. and we make gigantic holes for JT, and he don't even need that big of a hole. You just give him a little bit of green, he'll make the most out of it. Absolutely. But I like the fact that you brought up our receiving core to bring in our run game, our receiving core to protect Anthony Richardson, and how they can do that.
Yep.
You know, when that threat is there, when that deep threat is there, when that middle threat is there, when that slot threat is there, how you going to cover all this talent?
And they're all big boys that like to block. Pittman loves to get on those corners. He loves.
Oh
to
yeah,
put hands on
Pittman
them.
ain't afraid to
he's a
get
dog.
dirty. He's been a dog from day one. And
Mitchell, I think Mitch is the same thing. I think he's gonna love to just push them corners around and just tell them, hey, guys, get out of my way.
Yeah, he's definitely he's definitely got that type of attitude. Like, I'm gonna be up your ass all fucking day, boy.
You could have used a different analogy. This is guys we're talking about. But hey, if that's your thing, I'm not gonna cuss you about it. But
get your mind out the fucking
next
gutter,
time,
Pat.
use a different analogy. We're talking football and guys.
Pat, get your mind out the
you
fucking
almost
gutter.
sound like
Like you
Seaman
said, this
Frost
is fucking
now.
football. Oh my
Sound
God.
like Seaman Frost. Anyways, gentlemen, Mr. Martinez, thank you for spending some time with us. It's always a pleasure to talk football with you. You damn sure know what you're doing. You damn sure watch college enough to put me to shame, because I don't watch enough college. You know, so a lot of these players, man, they're all new to me. And this year, my time has not been taken advantage of watching film, studying. So I definitely appreciate your time, brother.
I'll give you one last look, Pat, that you can look it up.
Oh, and one more last look for my Christmas present. I'm telling you right now, he's going to get me one of these for Christmas.
I'm going to bring this to training camp. Think we can get some signatures on this bad boy?
I probably could.
I think that'd be almost a guarantee that we can.
Hey, if you send it to me, we'll get Drew to sign it. Or you bring the family down and play some cornhole with us.
I don't know if I'm scared to send it to you. It might not come back.
Oh, it's not. Oh, no, don't be scared. Don't be scared. Just send it to me and watch it not come back. Put it in the mail. I don't know what happened. No, but anyways, you guys, we're pushing the envelope here. Sammy's getting tired on us. He's already threatened to fire me, so we're going to give final thoughts. Luis, break it down real quick.
I think we got at least 4 starters out of this draft, maybe a 5th if Jalen can beat out Thomas. And so I'm glad to see this battles coming through. Excited for the season. I'm ready to watch some football, even if it's preseason.
Costa, final
Just want to say again, thank you to all y'all again for tuning in tonight. It's been a great show. A lot of good draft picks, a lot of excitement. Guess what? Colts football is back in the NFL, baby. Can't wait to see it this season. Tailgate season's coming up too, so can't wait to see y'all at the tailgate either. It's going to be a blast.
Woo-hoo. My final thoughts is going to go out to Clyde and everybody deployed right now. The world's on fire. You know, we got our servicemen and women all over the world right now trying to contain this thing. You know, bring an end to war. You know, make love, not war. You know, so if y'all are praying, folks, pray for all our veterans or all our service members. Safe returns, that they come home whole.
Absolutely.
Because if they don't, then they got to call Acosta.
I'm cool with that.
But they won't be.
I know they won't be, but I'm here for them. They fought for us, so guess what? I fight for them.
That's right. All right, Sammy, take us home, baby.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast and Bill Show on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.